Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, emerges from the cosmic fire of creation with the raw essence of truth, valor, and unwavering loyalty. Ruled by Mars, the planet of war, action, and drive, Aries does not merely live. They charge into life, propelled by an inner code of honor that burns as brightly as the stars that govern them. Within this fiery force lies a loyalty so fierce, so instinctive, that it becomes not a choice, but a fundamental part of who they are. Loyalty in Aries is not conditional. It is not calculated, weighed, or negotiated. It is felt with the full weight of their courageous heart. When Aries chooses to stand by someone, whether a lover, a friend, or even a distant ally, it is as if they sign an ancient soul pact. Their allegiance is forged in the fire of their convictions. They are not swayed by gossip, convenience, or changing winds. Their loyalty is that of the warrior who stands unflinching at the gates, ready to defend what they believe in with their last breath. Friendship with an Aries is a sacred bond. They protect those they love like a general shields their battalion. Betray them, and their fire may turn to ash, but honor them, and they will be the loudest voice in your defense, the first to leap into the storm for you. Aries does not require decades to form this bond. Even a brief encounter can awaken their protective instincts if they sense sincerity. They see through facades quickly, and once they recognize truth and decency, their loyalty is immediate and intense. In commitments of any kind, Aries thrives on purpose and action. If they say they will do something, they will. Their word is their weapon and their shield. To them, a promise is not a simple utterance, it is a vow. Aries is not content with passive intention. They are driven by a need to act. This is why, when Aries says, "I'll be there," you can almost hear the echo of a battle cry. They do not wait for perfect conditions or second-guess their commitments. They dive headfirst into what they have pledged, and they finish what they start, not because it's easy, but because it is right. This unwavering loyalty extends even to those on the periphery of their lives. The neighbor in need, the colleague in trouble, the distant cousin who reaches out after years. Aries responds with the same spirited dedication. There is no tiered hierarchy of value in their heart when someone is in need. There is only action, loyalty, and a refusal to abandon anyone they've once stood beside. Their sense of justice and righteousness, amplified by Mars, makes them guardians of fairness in both personal and collective arenas. Even in conflict, Aries does not waver in their essence. They may argue fiercely, fight with passion, and speak with unfiltered intensity, but it is all rooted in their honest nature. They do not deceive. They do not plot. What they feel, they express, and once the fire subsides, they do not hold grudges. Their loyalty survives tempests. They can clash with someone and still run to their side in moments of danger. To Aries, loyalty is not about perfection or harmony. It is about standing your ground beside those you've claimed as your own, even in the midst of chaos. In love, Aries is bold and all in. Their loyalty to a partner is as much a battle standard as it is a gentle torch. They will fight for their love, defend it, nurture it, and if they say, "I'm yours," they mean it in every realm: emotional, physical, spiritual. They may struggle with patience or subtlety, but never with devotion. They would rather face 1,000 storms than let down someone they love. And if heartbreak ever finds them, their pain is not of a broken ego. It is of a soul that gave all and was met with less. Aries does not love or support halfway. Their loyalty is not painted in pastel. It is carved in stone and set ablaze. When you walk with an Aries, you walk beside a sentinel of purpose, someone who will shout your name in rooms that whisper it, who will remember your smallest needs, and who will run through fire not because you asked, but because they felt it was their duty to do so. To be the object of Aries' loyalty is to be blessed with a rare kind of ferocity. It is to be held in the heart of a celestial warrior who has never known how to abandon, betray, or walk away when it matters most. Aries will stand for you, with you, and, if need be, in front of you. And in a world so often grayed by compromise, their red-hot loyalty is a guiding flame that reminds us what it means to be truly, utterly, and unapologetically there. There is a sacred fire within Aries that is not only about loyalty in action, but loyalty in presence. In the raw and rare ability to show up completely, not only in moments of triumph but in the darkest hours when shadows test the very core of our being. Aries does not merely stand with you in the light. They walk into the storm by your side with unflinching eyes and a clenched jaw that says, "We do not run, we fight." That presence, that devotion in moments others fear or flee, is where the deepest essence of Aries loyalty finds its fullest expression. Astrologically, Aries is cardinal fire. Cardinal signs initiate, lead, push the world into motion. Fire signs inspire, burn, and transform. When combined, this results in a soul who doesn't simply react to loyalty as a passive trait, but one who initiates loyalty as a driving force in their life. They do not wait for a call for help. They anticipate it. They are the first to notice the tremble in a voice, the shift in energy, the signs others miss. Their loyalty manifests in vigilance, the kind of alertness that belongs to those born to protect, to charge forward without hesitation into places others avoid. This vigilance is not rooted in control but in care. Aries observes the world not with suspicion, but with deep passion. Their loyalty is not confined to the people they love, but to truth itself. An Aries aligned with their higher nature cannot abide dishonesty, manipulation, or injustice, no matter how distant or impersonal. They are the defenders of principle as much as of people. When they hear lies spoken against someone they believe in, their fire rises. When they see a cause that aligns with their values, they do not hesitate. They speak, they act, they burn for what's right. Aries is often mischaracterized as impulsive, but their quick movement comes from a clarity that many others have not yet reached. Their loyalty is bound to this clarity. They are not confused about where they stand or whom they stand with. They don't second-guess their instincts, because their instincts are wired to the pulse of truth. There is no room in Aries for the passive-aggressive dance of modern diplomacy. Their loyalty is direct, clean, and utterly fearless. When they say, "I've got you," it's not a phrase. It's a war chant, a shield, a sacred oath. Their loyalty extends even beyond individuals. Aries has a deep spiritual allegiance to growth, to movement, to the betterment of self and others. When they align themselves with a mission, be it artistic, political, personal, or spiritual, they become unstoppable. They will work through exhaustion, face ridicule, overcome obstacle after obstacle without letting their flame die. They do not disappear when the novelty fades. They remain holding the line because they believe that giving up is not an option when something has claimed a piece of their soul. What many fail to understand is that Aries loyalty is not rooted in sentimentality. It is not about idealizing others or seeing them through rose-colored lenses. Aries sees your flaws. They see the chaos, the mistakes, the scars, and still they choose to stay. That is the epic depth of their loyalty. It does not rely on perfection. It relies on presence, on effort, on authenticity. If you are real with an Aries, they will be real with you forever. They do not love conditionally. They do not support halfway. Their loyalty says, "You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be true." Another profound layer of Aries loyalty lies in their refusal to allow those they care for to remain small. Aries is not the friend who merely consoles. They are the one who ignites. If you are being disrespected, they will be the first to roar. If you are losing yourself in self-doubt, they will remind you of your power, not with soft words, but with sharp truth and fire-lit encouragement. They demand your greatness, not because they want control, but because they believe in you with a force that is both humbling and empowering. Their loyalty lifts you. It does not coddle. It does not enable. It awakens. In moments of personal failure, Aries loyalty becomes even more extraordinary. They may be disappointed. They may burn with frustration. But if your heart is still in the right place, they will not abandon you. They are not interested in judging your journey. They are interested in walking it with you. Their fire can purify as well as destroy, and when used for good, it becomes a forge, transforming brokenness into strength, despair into courage, silence into voice. This is a loyalty that wants you to rise, not for them, but for yourself. When Aries turns their loyalty toward humanity, they become revolutionaries, warriors of change, breakers of chains. They are not content to wait for permission. They charge into forbidden spaces and say, "We belong here." When they see inequality, they don't write about it, they confront it. Their loyalty to justice is not polished or polite. It is raw, relentless, and incandescent. They speak when others whisper. They act when others deliberate. And they lead not because they want power, but because they refuse to stand still while others suffer. To align with an Aries is to walk beside a celestial firebrand whose loyalty may scorch at times, but who will never let you freeze. They are the eternal flame on the mountaintop, the roaring heart at the center of the storm, the sword unsheathed not for conquest but for protection. Their loyalty is a revolution, a heartbeat, a sunrise after a long night. It is not earned with empty gestures or shallow games. It is given with blood, breath, and battle cries. And once given, it is as vast and eternal as the stars from which they came. There is an elemental purity in Aries' loyalty that is rarely understood in its full magnitude. This loyalty is not only an act or a promise, but a living current flowing through their blood. A primordial force inherited from the cosmic moment when Aries was born as the first spark of the Zodiac wheel. As the sign that ushers in the astrological year, Aries carries within them the original vow of existence. To be, to stand, to fight, to love without fear. Their loyalty is not borrowed from experience. It is encoded in their astrological DNA, raw and indivisible. Aries is ruled by Mars, a planet that symbolizes more than just battle. It represents sacred action, heroic instinct, and divine will. Through Mars, Aries learns that loyalty is not about blind obedience but about sacred purpose. It is the discipline of the soul that chooses again and again to stand with what matters, not because it is easy, but because it is essential. This gives Aries an almost mythic relationship to loyalty. They do not just defend people. They defend principles, they defend energy, they defend life in its most unfiltered and unflinching form. This loyalty often manifests as a refusal to tolerate mediocrity. Aries does not stay silent when something feels off, nor do they look away from injustices great or small. Their spirit is a flame that rises against indifference. When they commit to someone or something, they bring the full force of that inner fire, a devotion that is not interested in appearances but in truth. This is why Aries may challenge those they care about, not to hurt them, but to awaken them. Their loyalty does not bend to comfort. It demands growth, it demands action, and it demands authenticity. In group dynamics, whether among friends, family, or teammates, Aries often becomes the unspoken protector, the one who senses threats before they are spoken, the one who will step forward and absorb the heat before it touches the others. This instinctual guardianship is not performed for recognition. It is a reflex born from a soul that knows how to lead without being asked. Aries doesn't sit back and wait to see who else will rise. They are the rise. They move first, speak first, defend first. And when others hesitate, they create the path by walking it through fire. Aries' loyalty also thrives in crisis. Where other signs may be paralyzed by uncertainty, Aries becomes sharper, more focused. In moments of chaos, they find purpose. Their energy becomes sacred fire, illuminating what needs to be done, who needs to be helped, where the line must be drawn. They do not abandon their post in the face of fear. They step into fear with unshakable determination. Their loyalty is tested not when things are easy, but when things fall apart. And it is in those moments that Aries reveals the full height of their courage and the full depth of their allegiance. Even in solitude, Aries' loyalty remains steadfast. They do not require validation to remain loyal. Their commitment endures in silence, in distance, in the quiet faith that what they stand for is worth standing for, no matter how long the road or how invisible the reward. They do not forget those they've loved, those they've fought for, those who once needed them. The Aries heart remembers with a warrior's clarity, not clinging, but holding space with honor. This memory is sacred. It is a loyalty that transcends time and space, surviving even separation and loss. In creative or professional realms, Aries loyalty becomes an unstoppable force of focus and execution. When they align with a goal, an ideal, or a vision, they treat it not as a fleeting interest but as a battlefield. Their loyalty to their own dreams is as fierce as their loyalty to others. They do not let obstacles define their limits. They transform adversity into fuel. And if someone else believes in them, that belief becomes sacred. Aries will push themselves beyond exhaustion just to honor the trust placed in them. They will not let down the people who have chosen to see their light. Another dimension of Aries' loyalty lies in their ability to forgive. While their anger may flare hot and fast, it also burns clean. They do not linger in resentment or harbor hidden grudges. Once the fire passes, they are ready to rebuild, to stand once more at your side if your heart is still honest. They do not fake reconciliation. It is either whole or it does not exist. But when they choose to forgive, it is complete. This capacity to renew loyalty, to return without bitterness when the connection is real, reveals their loyalty as not only fierce, but also healing and deeply human. In the broader collective, Aries becomes the spark of revolutions, the voice of the unheard, the one who dares to say what must be said, to act when others watch. Their loyalty to truth becomes a weapon against silence. Their presence ignites transformation, not because they seek glory, but because they cannot tolerate stagnation. They are the cosmic reminder that loyalty is not passive. It is an act of war against everything that deadens the spirit. And in this way, Aries is not just loyal to people or causes. They are loyal to life itself, to its movement, its fire, its becoming. Their love is action. Their words are oaths. Their presence is protection. They do not turn away when the fire grows too hot. They become it. They do not speak of loyalty. They are loyalty. And through their unwavering force of being, Aries teaches the world that devotion is not something to be negotiated, diluted, or delayed. It is to be lived in full blaze, in sacred purpose, in eternal flame. The loyalty of Aries is not confined by physical presence or immediate connection. It often exists across distances, across time, across barriers both visible and unseen. There is a mystical thread in Aries that binds them to those they have once claimed. A thread woven not of sentiment but of soul recognition. Even when separated by space or circumstance, Aries holds fast. They do not need constant contact to remain true. Their loyalty persists like a steady flame, requiring no witness, no reminder, no reinforcement. It is a quiet power that lives behind their boldness, the ability to remain loyal even in absence, even in silence, even in solitude. From an astrological perspective, Aries carries the spark of the divine initiator, the fearless pioneer whose role is to begin, to awaken, to ignite. This cosmic role imbues them with a sense of loyalty not just to people or causes, but to beginnings themselves. Aries is loyal to potential. They see what can be before others do, and once they have touched that vision, they become its defender. Whether it's a creative idea, a relationship still forming, or a movement in its infancy, Aries stands guard over it as if it were already sacred. They are not afraid to be the first to believe, the first to commit, the first to bleed. This is the essence of spiritual loyalty, to believe not because of proof, but because of instinct, because of soul memory, because of the fire that whispers, "This matters." There is a sacred rage within Aries when loyalty is broken by betrayal. This fury is not rooted in pride, but in heartbreak. A heartbreak born from the depth of what they gave, what they trusted, what they defended. Aries gives their loyalty in totality. They do not hold back parts of themselves for protection. When that loyalty is taken for granted or manipulated, the pain is elemental. Yet even in their anger, Aries does not become petty or deceptive. They remain raw and honest, even when wounded. Their fire does not turn into cold calculation. It burns until it purifies, until it clears a path forward, either toward renewed loyalty or toward final departure. Aries also expresses loyalty in how they defend the essence of someone, not just their actions. They know that people stumble, falter, make mistakes, but if the core is true, Aries will not abandon them. This intuitive knowing allows Aries to stand by people in moments when the world has turned against them. They see through masks, through temporary failures, and hold fast to the underlying spirit they once believed in. This is the loyalty of the soul warrior, not bound by circumstance, but by the recognition of who someone really is beneath their wounds, beneath their confusion, beneath their mistakes. Their loyalty is also expressed in how they carry others' battles as their own. When someone they love is under attack, emotionally, socially, or energetically, Aries takes it personally. They do not sit idly by or watch from a distance. Their instinct is to act, to shield, to confront, to protect. There is a primal justice that rises in them, a roaring flame that refuses to let harm pass unchecked. This trait makes Aries the natural avenger of wrongs committed against their tribe, a protector who responds not only with words, but with presence, with energy, with unshakable resolve. They will rise when no one else will. They will charge when others retreat. Their loyalty also has a cosmic memory. Aries is often drawn to soul contracts carried over lifetimes, bonds that are ancient, forged in celestial battlefields and remembered not by the mind, but by the heart. When they meet such a connection, their loyalty activates immediately, as if honoring an oath once spoken under the stars. These connections are often intense, filled with fire and friction, but Aries remains. They do not flee the flames. They know that some fires are meant to burn away the false, so that only truth remains. Their loyalty in such soul ties is nearly indestructible, carried beyond this life and into the next. In times of transformation, when identity is shed and reborn, Aries becomes an anchor. Their loyalty does not depend on who you were yesterday, nor does it demand you remain the same. They embrace change as part of the heroic journey. They know that rebirth requires chaos, that evolution is not clean or linear. Their loyalty says, "I will not leave you when you fall apart. I will stand beside you while you rebuild." This kind of loyalty is divine in nature. It holds space for destruction and resurrection alike, for the ashes and for the phoenix. In the temple of astrology, Aries is the flame at the altar, the fire that must be protected, fed, and honored. But Aries does not hoard this fire for themselves. Their loyalty drives them to share it, to light the torches of others, to be the match that sparks movements, dreams, and awakenings. They are not loyal because they are expected to be. They are loyal because their very nature demands it. To betray their loyalty would be to betray themselves. It is not a role they play. It is who they are at the deepest level, the warrior of truth, the guardian of beginnings, the sentinel of sacred bonds. When Aries commits to a path, a cause, a person, they walk it with fire in their blood and stars in their eyes. They bring with them the momentum of Mars and the clarity of creation. They do not ask for permission. They do not hesitate. They are the promise kept, the vow fulfilled, the strength that does not falter when tested. In a world that often forgets the weight of words, Aries remembers. And in that remembrance, they rise again and again, as the eternal flame that cannot be extinguished. There is a sacred alignment within Aries that links loyalty not only to external devotion but to an unshakable internal code, a set of invisible, unspoken laws that live deep in the marrow of their being. Aries is not loyal for convenience, nor for image, nor for any personal gain. They are loyal because to be otherwise would be to betray the fire within. This is a fire not given lightly. Once ignited, it becomes a living entity that connects Aries to people, principles, dreams, and destinies in ways that transcend superficial understanding. It is an ancient force that predates language, a soul oath written in cosmic flame. This loyalty is intricately tied to Aries' relationship with time. Unlike some who dwell in nostalgia or are tethered to what was, Aries is fundamentally a forward-moving sign. They are born to advance, to conquer what lies ahead. Yet within this progression, their loyalty acts as a gravity that keeps them grounded to the truth of who and what they care for, no matter how far they go. They do not forget the hands that held them up, the voices that called their name when they stood alone, the moments that defined the roots of their purpose. Aries carries these memories like weapons of light in their armor, reminders of why they fight, of whom they protect, of where they began. There is a quiet nobility in Aries' loyalty that often goes unnoticed because it is not always loud or ceremonial. It is not adorned in promises, but engraved in actions repeated over time. Aries shows up, not just once, not just in times of ease, but again and again, in the storms, in the voids, in the brutal chapters when others vanish. Their loyalty is endurance. It is showing up even when they are tired, even when they are misunderstood, even when it would be easier to walk away. It is in their continued presence, their repeated efforts, their unwavering stand, that Aries reveals their unspoken vow: I will not falter when it matters. Aries also exhibits loyalty to individuality, both their own and others. They are warriors of authenticity, defenders of the right to be one's true self, even if that truth is wild, raw, or inconvenient. They will defend the outcast, the misunderstood, the fierce heart that refuses to conform. This loyalty to freedom of expression makes Aries one of the most empowering presences a person can encounter. They do not try to reshape others to fit their mold. Rather, they fight to preserve and amplify the unique flame that lives in everyone they love. To have the loyalty of an Aries is to have someone who sees your power and refuses to let it be dimmed, not by fear, not by society, not even by your own self-doubt. Another profound aspect of Aries' loyalty lies in their commitment to beginnings that have yet to bear fruit. Aries will often fight for something long before the rest of the world understands its value. This is why they are often leaders, inventors, visionaries, and pioneers. Their loyalty to the unborn idea, the invisible future, the not yet proven path, is nothing short of heroic. They will bleed for something others consider madness because they feel its truth in their bones. They do not require confirmation or applause. Their loyalty is not to what is, but to what could be. This is divine creative loyalty, the unwavering faith in the fire of new life. Aries' loyalty is also found in their relationship with adversity. They are not fair-weather allies. When someone is broken, when a dream is crumbling, when a cause is on the edge of extinction, Aries is the one who remains. Not because they are unaware of the risks, but because they understand that the most important loyalty is forged in crisis. They do not flee from destruction, they rebuild from within it. They do not merely mourn the fallen, they rise with them. And if something they love is under threat, they do not debate, they defend. Their loyalty is not fragile. It is not something that needs to be coaxed or maintained. It is instinctual, reflexive, sacred. There is also an elemental purity in the loyalty Aries gives to their own fire. They honor their instincts, their desires, their anger, their joy, not recklessly, but righteously. They know that disloyalty to the self is the first step toward dishonoring everything else. They walk through the world with a sword in one hand and a torch in the other, cutting through illusions while lighting the path ahead. In this way, Aries teaches that loyalty begins within, with the refusal to dim one's light, to settle for less than truth, to live a life dictated by fear or shame. Their loyalty to their path is a call to all souls to stand taller, burn brighter, and remember who they are. In their most exalted form, Aries' loyalty becomes legacy. It echoes beyond the immediate, beyond the physical, beyond the present. It becomes the fire others pass down, the spark that ignites 1,000 more, the story told long after the battle is won. They may not seek legacy, but they create it, through the lives they've touched, the ideals they've defended, the flames they've carried when others dropped theirs. They become myth not because they chase immortality, but because their loyalty to life, to courage, to truth is unforgettable. In the grand celestial order, Aries is the guardian of initiation, of courage, of raw divine spark. Their loyalty is not merely a trait, it is a destiny. And those who are chosen by Aries, who walk beside them or are lifted by their fire, are forever changed. For to be loved, believed in, protected by an Aries, is to know the kind of loyalty that doesn't waver, doesn't weaken, doesn't end. It is the fire that starts all things and never truly goes out. It is the heart of the warrior, the soul of the flame, the undying echo of the first breath of the universe. There is a dimension of Aries' loyalty that lives in their relentless momentum, a cosmic trust in forward motion, not just for themselves, but for all they hold dear. Aries is not content with stagnation, nor will they allow those they love to rot in complacency. Their loyalty is not soft or passive. It is a force of propulsion. If you are in their world, they will pull you upward, outward, forward, whether you're ready or not. Their loyalty is action, and action in the realm of Aries is sacred. It is their way of showing love, belief, and unwavering commitment. They will push you not because they doubt you, but because they see your power more clearly than you do, and in the clarity of that vision, they become your fire until you reclaim your own. In astrology, Aries belongs to the cardinal modality, the initiators, the door openers, the ones who go where none have gone before. This means their loyalty has a creative quality, a birthing energy. They do not just stand beside people or ideas that already exist in full form. They are fiercely loyal to emergence, to evolution, to the raw, trembling stages of becoming. They understand that beginnings are vulnerable, messy, and full of fear, and that is where they shine the brightest, when they are needed the most. Their loyalty is not reserved for the successful, the proven, or the popular. It is directed toward the spark, the seed, the unformed dream that calls for courage to become real. Aries responds to that call with their entire being. Another often overlooked facet of Aries' loyalty is their refusal to allow corruption to take root in sacred ground. They are not blindly loyal. They are discerning, and if something or someone they once believed in reveals a core that is false or harmful, Aries will walk away, but not in apathy. Their exit is a thunderclap, a declaration that truth has been violated and that the fire must move on. Even in departure, their loyalty is to what was once real and to the integrity of their soul. They do not cling to broken structures for comfort. They let go to protect the sacredness of loyalty itself. In this way, Aries teaches that true loyalty cannot coexist with betrayal of self or spirit. Their loyalty is infused with instinct, often moving faster than conscious thought. Aries does not need to weigh the pros and cons when they see someone in trouble, when they hear a voice cracking under pressure, when they feel injustice rising in the air. They move, they defend, they act. It is in this unthinking courage that their loyalty becomes most divine, a pure transmission of cosmic will, untainted by ego or calculation. Aries does not ask what they will get in return. They do not calculate loyalty as a transaction. They know what is right, and they stand there like flame incarnate, undeterrable, unashamed, unstoppable. Aries also carries a loyalty to challenge itself. This is often forgotten because their external energy is so visible, but their inner loyalty to growth, to testing their limits, to rising above their past self, is one of their most heroic qualities. They do not settle for yesterday's victories. Their fire burns for more, not out of greed, but because their soul remembers its divine mission, to protect, to build, to ignite, and to overcome. They are not afraid of breaking. They are afraid of rusting. Their loyalty to evolution pushes them through fire after fire, wound after wound, because something greater is calling. A higher self, a brighter flame, a freer world. This is the reason Aries often becomes a role model for others without meaning to. Their loyalty to living authentically, to speaking truth even when it burns, to standing for what they believe without hiding, becomes a beacon. Others see their boldness and remember their own strength. Others witness their fierce loyalty and recall what it feels like to be defended without condition. Aries does not perform these acts for applause. They do it because their soul demands it. And through their unwavering example, they awaken the dormant warriors in everyone they touch. The fire of Aries does not remain in one place. Their loyalty is expressed in movement, in progress, in creative explosion. They are not meant to anchor the old, but to forge the new. Their loyalty is not to tradition but to authenticity, not to systems but to spirit, not to the past but to the sacred now. And in this now, Aries rises again and again, to bring light where there was none, to breathe life into ashes, to walk alone if necessary, so that others might one day follow the path they set aflame with courage. Even in moments of failure, their loyalty endures. Aries may fall, bleed, be misunderstood, be mocked, but they do not abandon the essence of what they've pledged themselves to. Their loyalty does not die in failure. It is forged in it. Every scar is a vow remembered. Every heartbreak is a testament to their depth of feeling. Every defeat is a promise renewed. The Aries soul does not give up. It rises differently, sharper, clearer, fiercer. This is not because they cannot feel pain, they feel it more than most, but because something inside them refuses to let the fire go out. In the celestial design, Aries stands as the cosmic warrior, the flame that does not flicker in the storm, the heart that does not close when wounded. Their loyalty is a mirror for what we all long for. Someone who will fight for us even when we cannot fight for ourselves. Someone who remembers our strength when we've forgotten. Someone who believes, acts, protects, and remains, not because it is easy, but because it is true. And in this truth, Aries becomes more than a sign, more than a friend, more than a force. They become the fire that teaches the world how to burn with purpose.